Hello, this is John Prince, an STC field rep, and today I'm going to show or demonstrate how to certify a core course in the new learning portal. When we processed all the existing certifications in the RFC system and brought them over, we were not able to bring over the core courses due to new formatting requirements. So all new Azure, all core courses have to be entered into the learning portal, and that needs to be completed by January 1st, 2017. And it's a pretty straightforward process. It's much like an annual course, but there are some enhancements for those who've actually had to type a core course, know what a long and arduous process that was. And it's very difficult in the old system to keep track of hours and testing and whatnot. And it was just a very long and drawn out process to have that built and then submitted and then have it reviewed by STC. So this is our first iteration, our first go at making that process more streamlined. So what I'm going to do is click Manage Certifications. Now I'm going to hit New, click here, and I am going to go and click RFC Core. And this is going to bring up a variety of different types of core courses that I can certify. And just as a note, the Supervisor Core and the Manager Core, those requirements are very much like an annual course. And if you need any direction on how to complete those types of core courses, please contact your assigned field rep. But the other 4 different types of courses are much more, there's a lot of requirements as far as time that is allocated to each module, and then the number of test questions and types of testing. So for this course, I'm going to go ahead and say an Adult Correctional Officer core course. I'm going to hit Continue. And this first page is very much like the old RFC system. So I'm going to put ACO test. My class size, I'm going to say, is 24. And since this is an ACO, I know it's going to be minimally 176 hours. And this will meet the Adult Correctional Officer population. Now, if you want this course to be available and viewable by other agencies, then you would click No. But if you want this course not to be on the general catalog when it's searched, then you would put Yes. So No means everybody can see it. So this is instructor-led training, course summary. You would put in something to the effect that this course meets STC policy for core courses, something to that effect. And this information here, as far as keywords, if you want the course to be searchable in the catalog, and then I would definitely include like ACO core to something to that effect. That way people can find your course. And then this is all the course information as far as who the course contact. Now this person could be different than if this was an agency course. You may have the STC assigned training manager here, but you may have additional staff that you want to designate as a course contact to contact about maybe enrollment in this particular course if there's issues with the course. So these are all editable. And then we're going to get down to performance objectives. Again, I would put in here meets STC policy for ACO core. You do not need to include performance objectives because those are in the core manual. Now, when it comes to Unit 1, historically, we would have you type in a ton of these performance objectives, and I'm going to say but we don't put them there anymore. I'm going to show you a cool place to put them that makes more sense. So testing procedures, you can click this. There are going to be post-test and there's going to be performance. These aren't necessarily required. And then you're going to click down here into an assurance statement that you're going to follow the STC policy and procedures in delivering this course con. And after that, I've got the front page done, so I'm going to click continue. And this is going to bring me into the next page. So I'm going to arrow down here to instructors. So instructors, if they are already listed, then I can click the ones that are going to be core instructors, and I would click them all that are going to be associated with core. If they're not listed here, you don't have them here, then you would go in and hit new. Since some of you that are viewing this particular video, you may have not seen, there's another tutorial on how to add a new user, and so if you haven't seen that before, I'm going to go ahead and do it real quick. That way you don't have to jump out of this video and watch another one. So go ahead and hit new. So his first name is, let's say his name is John Tester, and login, whatever his email address is. So we'll put them in Tester, and we'll say it's just at test.com. And the reason that we use email addresses for login is because everybody has an individual email. You can't have two people with the same email address. Now the password has to be at first capital B SCC at 123, and you'll enter that again. Capital B SCC at 123. The reason we use a standard default password is first time John logs into the system, it will ask him to change his password. So his primary role, I have to click instructor if I want him to show up in that instructor list. Organization, I'll put test, and then I'm going to again add his email address so the system knows where to send emails to. So I can continue on. I can put his bio in here. I can put his phone number and all that good stuff. But for right now, I'm just going to enter this minimum information. So I'm going to hit update. Now that I've created this user, I may, at this time, since I'm already here, I'm going to go ahead and add his employment history. So he worked at, let's say, Test Police Department, and he, we'll just say he was a sergeant, and let's say he started back in 2002, and he's currently still working there. And so we just hit update. Oh, I'm sorry, I put the wrong date in there. So whatever today's date is. There we go. Close. So that's his employment history. And then certifications, let's say if he had a special, one of our special T for T that he attended at training for trainers, he has a certification in defensive tactics, or maybe he's a firearm instructor, you would go ahead and click whichever those are. You can also click other, and then now you can type in whatever special certification he has. It could be a first aid, and you would put in when he attended, you'd give us some description. If it has an STC certification number, then you would include that here. And then the name of the provider and all that information. And then you would hit update. So now we got John Tester in here. So I'll go and close that. So there he is. So we're going to go ahead and select some instructors. Let's say all these folks are, except for this one. And we hit update. So now we come into the real change in the certification of core courses, and it's in the course outline. So when you open this up, it's going to show you that this is the Adult Correctional Officer Core course requirements. So the minimal hours for an ACO core are 176 hours. Of that, 168 hours are instructional hours. And then we have 4 hours of administration time, and then we have 4 hours of testing time. Now, administration hours, if you don't know, those are for, like, if you give a test and then you want to review that test, you could use administration hours for that. Some folks use it for, like, an academy welcome aboard, any administrative functions that you need to basically run the course. That's what that time is for. And then testing hours, minimum, you have to meet, you have to allow for 4 hours of testing. Until everything is met as far as hourly requirements, you cannot submit the course for STC review. You can save it and come back and work on it later, but you can't submit it. So how do you meet these requirements? So you got a couple things going on here on the right. It's going to tell you there's Unit 1. Those are things that are only for your department or for your particular iteration of the core course that are outside of the core course manual. And then you have our unit and modules. So the unit, this particular unit is Unit 2, California Criminal Justice, and then we have modules that are underneath that, for roles and responsibilities. So as I build this course, the required hours for this particular one is, for Unit 2.1 is 1 hour. My actual is 0 because I haven't done anything really yet. So how do I accomplish that? It's pretty straightforward. We're going to come over here to 0700, click on that, and we're going to hit this little button. Back up. It says select. So we got the module. We're going to select what module that we're going to teach at that time. So we have 2.1, roles and responsibilities. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now, if you're using Internet Explorer and there is an issue that we're working on, you will have to click to the right of this box. For some reason, it just doesn't line up quite right. It works very well in Chrome, but in Internet Explorer, for some reason, it's just a little bit to the right. So we're going to go ahead and click that. I know I got to get an hour in there, so I'm going to hit select. And so I'm going to go from 07 to 08. And then I'm going to check my methodology that I'm using. And I'm going to say that we're going to do some lecture, and we're going to do some group discussion. And we're going to use old Billy as our instructor. I'm going to hit add. So what happened? All right, added an hour, right? So we go over here, 2.1, 1 hour required, right here at the top, upper right, and then actual is 1 hour. So that shows that you have met the minimum requirements for module 2.1. And we go up here to instructional hours, we have met 1 hour. Now, we would continue to build the course, so we'll go on to, let's say, 2.2, and we know that's going to be 2 hours. So change this to, let's say, 10 o'clock, and go ahead, methodology instructor. Now the course is at 3, and we have 2 checks. Now, there is times where you'll start a unit and then on one day and finish it on another day, especially big ones. So let's go down here to 7.1. This is a 9-hour course. So we will click on that. And just for instructional reasons, let's say that we're going to do 4 hours of that particular module. And something I wanted to bring to your attention that we've done is we've already included that the BST, these are BSTs, or behavioral skills tests, that are associated with this will automatically be put into the outline. Pretty cool, don't have to type it. So we got instructor Billy. So this basically, this color shows that we are going to while we are teaching this particular module, we're short hours. Let's go up here, and it shows here that it's a 9-hour module. I got 4 hours more to go. So if I go to a different day, and we come in here, and I want to click on 7.1, we're going to continue on with that unit. I know I got to get 5 hours in there, and so we're going to go to 12 o'clock, and click that. So now, as you notice, that color has changed. And it is changed over here. So now I know I've met my minimum requirements for 7.1. Now, there are some other things that you need to be aware of. When you are doing Unit 1, click right here. So this is Unit 1. They'll all say Unit 1.1. And we're going to pick our methodology and our instructor. So this is where you will add your performance objective for Unit 1 courses. So let's say that this Unit 1 is baton training, and then you would write in the performance objective, so the student will be able to, let's say, identify, or better yet, demo, let's say, Zone 1 strike. And then I would continue. I can also continue on, and if I needed more room, needed to know what I was writing, I go adjust this. That only works in Chrome. It does not work in Internet Explorer. So I would go ahead and write in my objectives for whatever this particular class is. Again, I would tell what the name of this particular Unit 1. Now, just so you know, for convenience, if this course, if you're an agency and you're basically importing a course that's already certified, so let's say this particular baton training class, you already have that certified somewhere else, you could just put in the STC cert number, and then that kind of helps the field rep know that this particular course content has already been certified. So we're going to go ahead and add that. So that basically tells me here is baton training, and here are going to be the performance objectives. Now, the last thing that I want to cover is that how to do testing. So we're going to go ahead and we'll say that this is like day 3 or 4. We're going to do a job knowledge test, or if you're doing a PO core, I think either way, these are they are the paper pencil test. And the way you do that is you would come in here, and you would put that you're going to say do an hour, and before you click this select button, I want you to come in here and hit test. This is really important because what it's going to do after you hit test, it tells the system, okay, they're going to actually do a test. And this is the only time that you'll use the test methodology. And what it does is I'm going to come in here and say that we're going to do a bunch here. Let's say we're doing unit 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to hit select. What happens is at the bottom here, it's going to tell you a total 87 test questions are required. And you, as the provider, are going to basically make an assurance statement that says, hey, we've got 87 test questions on our test. And then you would hit add. So that shows that these are all the modules that are covered. I have 87 test questions that are required, and over here it's going to say 87 questions on your test. The STC field rep that reviews your core course will come in, and this is what they're going to look for. They're going to say, okay, there's 87, and this only works if you hit test first. Let me do that one more time just so you can see it. Let's say we're doing some more testing. Oh, see, I already did it right here. Got to come in and hit test. Got to come in and hit select. And 65 test questions. 65 and instructor code. Yeah, here we go. Test question 65. 65. Those match. We're good to go. So you would continue to do this until all the hourly requirements are met over here. So you would want to make sure that you go up and down this list, 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 8 for 8. Now you can go beyond. Let's say that your GAIN course is 12 hours long. That's fine. As long as you meet the minimum requirements, you're going to be good to go. So once that is completed, the only other thing that you would need to do is then come in and schedule the date that this core course is going to happen, the range of days that it's going to occur, how long it's going to be. So let's say it's going to end in November, and you would tell us what location. So and details, if there are any special details that you wanted to include. Now, this ID, event ID, and subject, these are for your internal tracking only. They're not for STC. So the use of these is completely optional. We do require that you at least give us the location, tell us where it's at. You can actually put an address in there. And that's pretty much it. So we'd hit update and close. Now, I just want to demonstrate that I have not completed the outline, but if I tried to hit submit, it's going to give me this message. It says, hey, you have not met the minimum requirements for this core course. I'm not going to build a whole course because that's good. It would make this video even longer than it is already. One of the exciting things is that for us moving forward, is this allows you to build a course at your own time, but knowing that once you submit it to STC, you have met the minimum requirements for the hourly instruction, which was one of the harder parts of the old RFC system. And it also allows the field rep to concentrate on, instead of counting all those hours, trying to figure out if you met those, now they can actually go in and look at the course and give you some feedback if needed on the way the course is constructed and delivered. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty straightforward process for building a core course in the new system. And if you have any questions, always feel free to contact your STC assigned field rep, and they will help you get your core course built and submitted and eventually certified. Also, if you have additional questions that you want to post about this video or comments, you can go to the My Forums page and you can post your questions there. Nice thing about posting questions on My Forum is that other users can see them, and they can also gain from the answers that are delivered by staff about those questions. So thank you very much, and have a great day.